So first off, thank you all for waiting. We know we started a couple minutes late. Welcome to New International Student Orientation for the spring 2023 semester. We really appreciate you all taking the time to join us. Again, if you aren't able to be joining us live, this is recorded, so you will be able to watch it later. You'll be able to reference back to what's going on, and you'll be able to hone in on anything in a little bit more detail if you want. So just to go over the run of the show today, I'm sorry, I'm still admitting people into the room. First off, we're going to have some comments from Dr. Amber Bergnoli, who's the Associate Vice President for Global Affairs. And then we will have some information from Andy Patrick, who is the Associate Director for our International Student Services. After everything is said and done, and after we go through everything, we will be able to have some time at the end for questions. So we'll ask that you use the chat feature at the end. If you have any questions throughout the presentation, you can go ahead and put them in the chat feature. They'll be saved there, and we'll be able to address them at the end as we go. So again, thank you so much for joining us, and I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Bergnoli.
Thanks so much, Hank. Welcome, everyone. As Hank said, we are so excited to have you with us. I think this is the first academic year in a while that it's really felt as if campus is getting back to normal. We're able to have a lot of in-person events, and very important to our office, you are here. You were able to travel safely. You were able to obtain visas and get to our campus. And our international students just bring a wonderful addition, not just to our campus, but also to the city of Morgantown, to the state of West Virginia. We love the cultural experiences that you bring, your new perspectives on life and on the world. I'm from the southern part of West Virginia. I grew up in the state, left for a couple of years, came back. I'm an alumni of WVU. So I so look forward to meeting all of you and hearing about your experiences and comparing them with mine when I was a student on this campus. We won't talk about how many years ago that was, but it's always, the beginning of a new semester is always a great time to be at a university and see everything. You know, it's a time to start fresh, and it's a time to start new goals, and it's also the start of a new year, of course. So there's wonderful opportunities out there for you. The one message that I want to leave with you, and I'm sure it will become clear as we move through the program today, is in addition to the individuals that you might see on your screen, that some of the staff of the Office of Global Affairs and International Student Services, there are literally thousands of employees at West Virginia University, and our job is to help you succeed. It's not only our job. You have to do a lot of the work yourself, but we are here to help you. If you ever find yourself challenged or struggling, or you're not sure how to accomplish a certain task, ask your instructors. Even if they're a full professor with a PhD, go up and talk to them after class. If it's the person at the front desk in your residence hall or in the mountain lair or at a learning center on campus, just ask. If they're not the right person, they will help you figure out who is. So you have to decide to do it, but then there are thousands of us here that will help you. Today's program is going to cover a lot of information about how to maintain your immigration status, but we also want to make sure that you take advantage of all the amazing opportunities of being a student in the US. Go to the rec center, go to the learning centers, go outside and explore, meet new friends, try new foods. And again, there's so much more beyond even our office that is able to support you and ensure that you have a successful and meaningful time here in the United States. So I welcome you. I wish you all the best in your journey as a mountaineer, and I will turn it over to Andy.
Thanks, Amber. It's my pleasure to welcome you as well. My name is Andy Patrick. I am the Associate Director for our Student Services. Also serve as International Student Advocate, which means I help coordinate support for you when needed. It doesn't mean I can do everything, but if you're not sure where to go, I always say I can act as a compass for you. I can point you in the right direction and make sure that you have follow-up and information you need to be successful. As Amber mentioned, we are here to help, and consider me a contact for you if you do have any questions. I do have a presentation for everyone about maintaining status, a little bit about our office, also some resources that we have on campus. So, settle in. I will try to be as brief as possible, but there is a lot of information that you'll need to know. And it's okay that if you don't digest all the information right away and understand the information right away, our office is here to help, and I will let you know how to contact us when you do have questions. I'm going to share my screen here, and just give me one moment to pull up the presentation. And as Hank said, this will be recorded, so you can go back and watch it again. And if you do need any information from the slides, you're welcome to reach out to our office as well. So without further ado, let's go and let's introduce a little bit about WVU. So to start, I want to just say being an international student is very exciting. I know a lot of our office, including myself, have done the reverse and studied abroad in different places. And there's always a lot of new possibilities. You have new friends, new food, new experiences, new perspectives, but most importantly, remember, you're here for a great education, and we're going to help you get to your goal, either graduation or to finish your study abroad program. We're going to be with you along the way. West Virginia is wild and wonderful. It's a beautiful place. You're coming in the spring. It's a little bit colder here now, but you'll be here as the spring comes around, the flowers start to bloom, and it really is almost heaven, as we like to say around here. But being an international student sometimes can be tough. We all know that experience. You're in a different place, and things can be confusing or different, but that doesn't mean you can't navigate through those challenges. You're also going to have questions like, what are these new laws that I have to follow? What document is that do I need? Where do I go for this? It's incredibly difficult just to be here as an international student. And I want to put this up as just an example of an immigration roadmap to a green card and how actually tricky the immigration system is within the US. We are all well aware of the bureaucracy involved and the paperwork involved. And that is why our office is here. It is difficult at times, as you might have experienced as you were trying to get the documents needed to come to the US. But just remember, you are not alone in this matrix and then this difficulty. But if you should need anything, we will start you on the path in the right direction. Now, not all immigration questions are this complicated, but this is just an example of someone trying to get a green card, all the different options available. So you can imagine some situations are a little more difficult than others. But we are here to help. The picture here is our building where our office is located. This is the Office of Global Affairs at the Puritan House. The Puritan House is a historical building on campus. It's right across the street, kind of catty corner to the library, Clark Hall, and is right on the downtown campus. You're welcome to stop in at any time and see the building. It's old, it creaks a little bit, it has character, but it's beautiful and we love it and we call it home. We have a front desk staff that's available when you walk in. These are student workers that are trained in the basics of what we do in our office. They can answer general questions for you, document pickup, info about services, but what they can't do is immigration advising. So if you have more detailed questions, they can help direct you on how you can speak to an advisor. We have a support staff that works remote. These are international advisors. These are individual advisors in the Ed Abroad office. We have a scholars unit as well, but we have a whole host of individuals that can help with services. So our front desk staff will most likely direct you on who to contact, and that person will reach out to you. Since we are working sometimes remotely, sometimes we are in the building, it's best to stop in and ask or send an email to us if you're trying to reach out to someone in particular. And as I mentioned, email is needed for additional advising. The reason being is that a lot of immigration advice and information needs to be documented, and email allows us to establish that connection with you. It allows us to provide that advising in writing so you can review it and make sure that the information is understood. Oftentimes over the phone or in person, some things can get lost in translation, and we like to establish that email connection so there's documentation of what was advice that was given to you, and then allow for you to review it later on as well, so there's no confusion. As mentioned, we don't have the immediate walk-in advising to see an advisor and talk with them right away. However, the best way to receive complete advice from the staff is to reach out and establish a connection with an advisor with that email. That way we can filter your question to the exact person who might be a specialist in this area. They can research what's needed. They can review the information that they're about to provide to you through the email and make sure it's accurate and up to date, as immigration laws can change at any time. And they can respond accurately to you to make sure that you maintain your status within the US. We have different email accounts for the different units that are within our office. The student unit, which oversees the F1 and J1 student visa process. This first email is one that you should know and reach out to often if you have questions. And we always say, if you're not sure who to email, you can reach out to isss-students@mail.wvu.edu. We do have an advisor that monitors that account daily, depending on the volume of email. He can respond within 1 to 3 business days, and he's really good about responding within a business day if he can get to it and get you an answer. So please be patient when you do send an email. We also have a scholars unit as well. Sponsored students, if you're a sponsored student and have additional needs, our sponsor student office with Cindy Teets and Tina Tackett are available through that email. And we also have our education abroad team. If you're here on exchange, you probably are already in contact with some of those advisors, but please reach out. And then we have an overall administration that can be reached at globalaffairs@mail.wvu.edu. And that email address will certainly filter to the right offices as well. So don't get hung up too much on, am I emailing the right person? We all work very closely together, and we will certainly make sure that the individual that needs to be attentive to what you need will be advised and get that email. And so how we communicate with you, we explained a little bit how you communicate with us. We communicate through your mixed email. When you are accepted to the university, all official university communication is through your mix. So if you have a Gmail account or another account that you've used prior, please consider either forwarding email to that mix email account or getting the habit of checking your mix email, especially when we give immigration advice or updates or information. It's going to go to your mix email, and you should check it daily. It's good practice as a student at the university to check your mix email daily, because there's not just communication from our office, there's communication from all different offices and departments across campus, and announcements as well. Our office, we say we have a partnership with you, and you must do your part as well. So we work together on making sure that you maintain status. And our part is to give info when needed. And there are a few things that you are responsible for as well. So I want to make these clear for you in the event that you do need something. You must communicate with us any concerns on what is needed. We try to monitor individual records and review records as much as possible, but we have hundreds of students, not only current students, but those that are continuing on optional practical training benefits across the US. We try to monitor these as much as possible, but you must communicate your needs because there are so many students that we are already helping. And our student unit is a smaller office. Right now, we're looking to hire 1 additional person, but we are really an office of 2 or 3 or 4 individuals helping hundreds of different students. So please communicate with us your needs. Ask questions. We don't mind questions at all. There are no dumb questions. Like anything at all you want to ask, you can reach out and ask that question. We don't mind at all. We rather you to be sure and 100% certain before you proceed with anything about maintaining your status or at the university. We're happy to help. So ask those questions and send those emails. Please take an active part in understanding how you maintain your visa status in the US, and I'll explain a few ways that you can do that and cover some basic concepts for you. But please note that if you do have a request from us, please make that in a timely manner as well. Usually making a request the day before a deadline is not good practice. We typically would ask at least 15 business days, a cushion for us to process any requests. So please reach out early and often to us, and we'll certainly do our best to help. One of the things we hear often when there are issues with your visa or a mistake was made is students will say, well, I didn't know, or nobody told me. That will not go a long way, especially in the eyes of the federal government in maintaining your status. When you sign your I-20 or DS 2019, you're attesting that you understand the rules and regulations for maintaining your status in the US. We are here to help with information for you. We try to send updates as much as possible and post information to our websites for you to read and review. We are open to questions, as I mentioned, but remember, I didn't know and no one told me is not a valid excuse with the federal government if something would happen. But if something does happen, or you feel like you've fallen out of status or have made a mistake, please reach out right away, because there are some issues that we can work with you to correct, and it would take us advocating on your behalf. So please reach out if there is an issue as soon as you are aware of it. Remember, it is your visa status. It's your responsibility to maintain it, but we are here to help. So with all these immigration rules and regulations, I know that sounds scary. What do you need to know? What are the basics? It really boils down to a couple things. You will need to know, if you need help, if you can remember why you chose to come to US and WVU. So you came to WVU and to the US to study full time in the time that you're given to earn a degree. So if you can remember that, you'll be okay. What that means is this: anything that prevents you from studying full-time, 12 credits for an undergraduate or 9 credits for a graduate, anything that prevents you from taking in-person courses, remember you're in the US, and anything that prevents you from completing your degree in the time that you were given is a cause for you to reach out to our office. So if you can't study full-time, you can't take in-person courses for whatever reason, or you can't complete your degree in the time that you're given, please be sure to reach out to us as often and as early as possible so we can give you advice on what you need to do. There are options available. Remember your reason for coming to the United States: full-time. We sometimes have students that drop below full-time, and that is a violation of your status. Do not do that. Do not drop any credits until you check with your academic advisor about what credits you need, and also check with our office about if this is allowable. We always say, if you intend to drop any credits below full-time, add the credits you need to maintain your full-time status before you drop the other ones. In certain situations, you may end up dropping below full-time and find out a class is full, there's restrictions, and you're struggling to catch up and try to find a course to get you back in status full-time. So if you're at 12 credits and you want to drop 3, add 3 more to get you at 15, then go ahead and drop. Make sure you're in that other course. But you can always check with us if you have questions about maintaining your full-time status and options that you have. Remember, full-time and in-person studies is good. Not full-time, not in-person studies is not good. I know that there have been exceptions because of the pandemic for online courses. Those have gone away or will be completely have gone away probably within the next several months. We are advising all students to make sure that they are in-person courses. Now, there are an exception that you can have at least 3 credits of online courses. So for instance, if you are in 12 credits as an undergraduate, 9 must be in person, 3 can be online. If you're a graduate student, 9 credits, 6 can be in person, 3 can be online. And you can take as many credits after 12, 9, as long as you've established that within your schedule. If you want to take additional online courses, as long as you have the 9 credits as an undergraduate, 6 credits as a graduate in person, you'll be fine. I always tell students, if you're not sure, send us your schedule, CRN codes, everything that you know about your course schedule. We can double check for you, let you know if you're okay, and before proceeding if you have questions about online courses. As an international student, the best way to find information is from our website. It's iss.wvu.edu. It looks like this. Hopefully some of you are already aware of the website and have read through it. There are a couple spots I want to point towards on our website. The request link is where you're going to log into your request portal, and that's where you place the requests that are needed from us and our advisors. I also want to suggest that you look at the F1 student page and the J1 student page if you are J1. This will give you information about maintaining your status. It may take you 5 to 10 minutes to read through the information. You can refer to it often, and there are some helpful tips and information that you'll need for situations that may occur during your time here as an international student. A couple important takeaways from this part of the session. You're responsible for maintaining your visa status and knowing the rules and regulations. Please read the last page or the back of your I-20 DS 2019. Those web pages for F1 and J1 students, we've done our best to try to summarize some of the important information on the back of your I-20 and DS 2019s about maintaining your status. Take an active role in maintaining your status and communicate with us your needs during your time here. And make requests early. Please allow for at least 15 business days to process most requests. It doesn't mean that every request takes 15 business days, but depending on the volume of requests that we receive and the number that are in queue, it may take up to 15 business days. So please plan for that. And we certainly work as quickly as possible to process as quickly as possible. Unfortunately, we cannot expedite requests because I always tell students we work to expedite all requests. We work as quickly as possible already with the staffing that we have. If you do email, please understand it may take us 1 to 3 business days, depending on volume, to get back to you, but we do respond. You can certainly check up on any status of any request by sending an email as well, and we're happy to let you know where you are in queue and when we can expect it to be finished. Some examples of our services. I have this picture here. When you walk into our office, this is what the front desk will look like. Now the partitions are down from the pandemic, so it may look a little different, but we'll have a student worker or staff member at the front there. Please come on by. Let us know who you are. We'll welcome you, and you can certainly ask any questions that you have. If you prefer stopping in to email, that's you're welcome to do that. The one major request that we're getting a lot of right now is, hey, I want to work on campus, or I already have a job on campus and I need to get a social security card and I need to get processed for payroll. We do process your social security letters that you need. We do have a student employment webpage on our website that explains step-by-step that process. If you're unsure where to go to understand that process, it is one of the more cumbersome and burdensome processes once you get here to the US, but we're happy to help. We have detailed information on our website, and please email us if you're unsure. We will point you in the right direction and explain what you need to do. A good standing letter, if you are going to the DMV and are applying for a driver's license, we will produce a good standing letter for you that lets the DMV know that you are a full-time student, you're in good standing, and you'll take that with you to a driving appointment or to get your license. Travel endorsements. You'll need a travel signature on your I-20 or DS 2019 for return to the US. For F1 students that have an I-20, we can complete this electronically online, and there's a request for a travel endorsement. For students that are J1 DS 2019, unfortunately, regulations state that we must provide an ink signature. However, you can still place a request. We'll see that you're a J1 student, and then we'll have an advisor reach out to you about coming into the office, setting up a time to sign your DS 2019. So you can place a travel endorsement request if you're going to leave for a short period of time, going to visit family, or maybe during break, and you need to come back to US, you need a signature on your I-20 or DS 2019. If you lose an I-20, and I need to put DS 2019 in here as well, we can replace that. It's a simple request online, and just let us know it was lost, stolen, damaged, what happened to it, and we will print you out a new one. You can come pick it up or access it from your student request portal if you're an F1 student. You must keep your contact information updated. Federal regulations state that your US physical address must be updated at all times, and if you change that, must be updated with us within 10 days. If you happen to exceed the 10 days, don't panic, just contact us as soon as possible and place a contact information update with your new address. I mentioned being full-time, but in some circumstances, you could apply to have a reduced course load. This needs to be reviewed and have approved first, so you must maintain full-time enrollment before you drop any courses or be approved for it. We will review the reduced course load request. We can seek authorization from the federal government for situations if you are struggling due to being new to the US and you're acclimating to US teaching methods. If there's a medical reason why you need to drop down below full time, we can review that, and we need further documentation as well. But if you think that you might be eligible for a reduced course load, there is information on our website about that under the F1 and J1 pages, but you can reach out and ask questions of us. The most important thing to remember is you have to request it of us. We have to seek approval, and it has to be authorized before you can drop below full time. If you need more time in your program, I mentioned this, if the time that you're given on your DS 2019 or I-20 is about to expire, or you know that you need more time, you must request an extension from us, and it must be for valid academic reasons. We usually reach out to your advisor and get information from them. However, if your I-20 or DS 2019 does expire, you will not be able to extend it after expiration. You must place the extension request with us prior to expiration. So if you feel that the end of the semester is approaching and you may fail a course and need an additional semester, or you're an exchange student and want to extend your time here, this must be placed prior to the program end date on your I-20 or DS 2019. If you're going into a final and you feel like, I may fail this final, I don't know if I'm going to finish my program or not, it's really important that you place this extension request prior to going into your final and prior to going into that program end date expiring, because it takes a week for grades to come out. We can always dismiss the extension request. It's okay. But as a precaution, if you feel you need more time, place this extension request as you get close to your program end date. Now, if you know 2 years prior that you're going to need another year, we can't process that soon. Usually within the semester that your program end date is expiring is when you want to start placing that request. And I'll just talk briefly about this. We also process what's called curricular practical training, CPT. This is if you have to do an internship or work off campus for your major. We can help with that authorization. Please reach out to us if your academic department requires an internship and you have to be authorized for off-campus work. And OPT is optional practical training. This is a work benefit after you graduate, where you can work in an area of your degree for 1 year. And if it's a STEM field, you can have an extension. J1 students can be eligible for what's called academic training as well. And if you're interested as a J1 student, please reach out and let us know. We also host pages on our website that gives detailed information about both. So I mentioned all the requests and things that you can do during your time here, but you do have some first tasks as an international student if you have not done these already. Please register full-time, 12 credits if you're undergraduate, 9 credits if you're a graduate student. Please complete pre-arrival orientation through the student request portal. This is a basic session about overview of some of the things that you need to maintain status and know as an international student here at WVU. It's as simple as reading and clicking that you understand the information. A contact information update, please provide us your U.S. physical address. Even if you are staying temporarily somewhere, please provide us with that address. You can always change it later, but we need a U.S. physical address to register you in SEVIS and make your record active. And then SEVIS check-in. This is where we make your record active. We need to collect some documents from you with SEVIS check-in. You'll upload those to the system, provide us with the information that we need. But there are 3 separate requests: the pre-arrival orientation, the contact information update, and SEVIS check-in. Oftentimes students will submit those 3 requests to us, and then we find out you're not registered full-time yet. We have to wait until you're registered full-time. So please do all 4 of those as soon as possible. These need to be completed within 30 days of your program start date. The website you can go to, place a request to log in. That's the student portal login, where you'll see an example where you click on that, you use your WVU login information, and it will direct you to your homepage for the request portal. And on that homepage, there is a spot for requests and documents. If you click on that, you will see little icons for different requests. And these are the 3 that you'll need to complete: the pre-arrival orientation, contact information update, and SEVIS check-in. I would estimate that each pre-arrival probably take you 10 or 15 minutes at most. Contact information update is as simple as putting in your address, and SEVIS check-in, as long as you have your travel documents, your immigration documents, you can easily take a photo of those or upload those for us and complete SEVIS check-in. Please be sure to click submit once you place these requests. We have students say that they have completed them, but they're actually pending. You haven't actually clicked submit. So please make sure that you do that once you complete each step. As mentioned for SEVIS check-in, it's as simple as going down through, looking at what document is needed and clicking on or dragging the file into the SEVIS check-in. You'll need a copy of your I-20, copy of your passport, copy of your visa foil, your I-94 record. And if you have a port of entry stamp, please take a picture or scan that into the SEVIS check-in. For students from Canada, I know you won't have a visa foil per se. Just upload again if it's required a copy of your I-20 or DS-2019, and we'll know that you're from Canada and you won't have that visa foil. So if you have any questions about SEVIS check-in at any time or any of your documents, please reach out. We always review these and we'll reach out to you if we do see an issue. And if your I-94, that's your travel record, is incorrect, please let us know right away, and we will work with our primary designated school official to have that corrected with Customs and Border. Just a quick crash course on these documents. Your passport, you should know what it looks like. Your I-901 SEVIS fee receipt. This is not required for SEVIS check-in. However, it is a really good idea to keep this document on you when you travel and at all times. This is the government fee for your SEVIS record, and it's always good at Customs and Border if there's any issue to show that you've paid that receipt. If you haven't paid that SEVIS fee already, please do so right away. Our PDSO, or primary designated school official, can terminate your record if it hasn't been paid. However, your SEVIS record should show paid, and the embassy, when you got your visa, would have needed to see it paid as well. Your visa foil, it looks like your passport picture, but it's a separate foil stamp page within your passport. So if we ask you, hey, is your visa expired? Make sure you're not giving us your passport expiration. Go to your visa. Let us know when your visa is expiring if you have any questions. Actually, one quick note about your visa. To let you know, some students will panic a little bit because their visa is expiring. They're within the US, or it has expired and they worry that they're out of status. The visa allows you to stay in the US. If it's expired, it's okay. So you can stay as long as you want, as long as your I-20 or DS-2019 has time left on it, even with an expired visa. So we always say that your I-20 DS-2019 tells you how long you can stay in the US. The visa is the key that gets you in the US. And if you're already in the US and your visa is expired, you don't need another key. You already gotten to the US. The most important thing to remember is that your I-20 or DS-2019, that length of stay, that program end date, tells you how long that you can be here. So if that's expiring and you need an extension, please request it from us. If your visa is expired or expiring, you can stay in the US. But as soon as you leave on an expired visa, you're going to need to renew that before you return to the US. Again, if you have any questions about this, please let us know. But make sure you distinguish between your I-20 and DS-2019 and your visa. They're not the same, okay? Your I-94 record, I mentioned this as well. This is what is coded into the system by US Customs and Border when you cross the border. There is a website where you can retrieve this for SEVIS check-in. Please check your class of admission that it's correct. If you're F1, it should say F1, J1, J1. It should say duration of status, DS on it. If it does not, or the date of entry is incorrect for any reason, country, anything wrong with that, please let us know right away. You can still submit your SEVIS check-in to us. We will most likely catch this in SEVIS check-in, but it's best that you reach out and we will let you know what's needed to correct that. Again, your I-20 or DS-2019 looks like this. Pay attention to the program end date on the documents as well, and let us know if it's approaching. And with that, I'm going to go into a couple other resources at the university. But let me just say that, you know, our office is here to help you with all the different types of documents, the requests, the things that are needed. I'm sure some of you are feeling overwhelmed or nervous or anxious with all this information. Please don't worry. We are here to help. Ask those questions of us, communicate with us, let us know your needs, check our website. We are here to help. We'll walk you through the process. We'll explain things once, twice, 3 times, as much as needed for you to feel comfortable and understand. So please reach out. We also have some other offices on campus that I want to make you aware of as well. As an international student advocate, I may direct you to a few of these offices from time to time. Their care team, Mountaineer Hub, Office of Student Conduct, Career Center, Campus and Community Engagement. These are all 5 of the most frequently utilized or campuses on office or offices on campus that you will come in contact with. And I want to explain a little bit about each and how they can help you. For personal services, the Office of Campus and Community Life and the care team there can be reached at campuslife.wvu.edu. This office, I mentioned a care team. If you're having any personal issues, if you need more extensive support for maybe something that has happened to you or a family member while you are a student here at WVU, a care team is a group of individuals that will help coordinate that support for you. And I work closely with those individuals, and they do reach out from time to time, but you can also contact them as well if you're having issues that you want to talk to someone about. And if you can also file with them a report of someone that you might be concerned about as well, if you feel that they're in need of additional support as well. We have student health. So as an international student, you have health insurance. You have either you've received a waiver of your own insurance or you have student health insurance. If you're sick, you can utilize campus health services. They're located on the Evansdale campus where you can receive care. If you are sick, please consider going to student health. And if you're not sure where student health is located, and if it's a quick PRT ride off the Evansdale campus, and you can certainly email us and we'll give you some directions as well. There's also the rack here on campus where it has perishable and non-perishable food items. Everybody needs a little bit of help from time to time. Please consider visiting the rack and see what they have available. And it's not just food items. They also have school supplies and also other items for students that might be in need. Money can get tight sometimes. We've all been there. And don't worry, there's no issue asking for some help from the rack. WVU, they offer services to kind of, they will support complete health. So mental health resources, well-being of students, tips for dealing with stress. It's a great resource for students because we all feel a little stressed or burnout from time to time. Please consider visiting wvu.edu to see some of those resources and some information they have for you. For financial services, you'll want to go to the Mountaineer Hub. For financial aid, scholarships, waivers, any questions about that can be directed towards the hub. Your student account, paying your bill, any account questions, please review it on STAR. Please reach out to them as well. They certainly will help you navigate your account, help you understand the charges, what's been paid, what hasn't been paid. Please continue to speak with them if you're having account issues. But if you would like to check in with our office as well, I do have contacts there that I can reach out to. The registrar is also located at the Mountaineer Hub. So if you need a transcript or if you have questions about adding or dropping classes or what classes are available, they can help you out. But please remember, don't drop below full time until you've added the course that you need. And you're always welcome to check with us first about those courses. Some other financial services that are available, we partner with PNC Bank. They have a separate webpage where they assist international students with banking needs. They can help you with checking, savings, credit options, wire transfers. They have customer service in 240 different languages, and they do also offer financial seminars for budgeting and navigating the financial system in the US. If you're interested, please visit their webpage. I also have some other information provided from contacts there. If you are interested in seminars or joining a group to learn a little more about budgeting, I can help you out. Please reach out to me and I can direct you towards the proper resources. Some academic services for you. The Academic Resource Center tutoring is free there. It's held virtually or in person by appointment. Most major subjects are covered. So please continue to reach out to them if you're struggling in your courses. Get help early. Don't wait and think that, I'll just eventually get it. have been to tutoring before. These are students just like you that are mastering a subject or trusted in the subject area. They'll not only help you understand the material, but they'll help you understand what you need to do to avoid things like plagiarism. They'll talk about academic integrity issues. So it's not a place for them to do their work for you, but they will tutor you and lead you to getting help for the subjects that you're struggling in. There's also the Everly Writing Studio on the ground floor of Colson Hall, which is the English department building. Colson Hall is actually right next door to us. If you're facing the Puritan House, it's the building to the left, and on the ground floor, they do have a writing studio. If your English writing skills aren't up to par, you would like to practice them, or you just want someone to review and perhaps give you some suggestions for any papers or research projects, please consider making an appointment with the Everly Writing Studio, and they have staff there that will be available to assist. And I mentioned this as well, the Everly Writing Studio will make sure that you avoid issues of plagiarism that's involved with academic integrity. If in the US, working as a group and sharing similar answers may be viewed as a violation of academic integrity, which means that your work must be your own. If you're contacted by our Office of Student Conduct for any questions about academic integrity, please respond in a timely manner. It doesn't mean that you did anything wrong. They may be just wanting to have you answer some questions about how you got access to certain answers or material, or they may be investigating someone else who may have been charged with academic dishonesty. But it doesn't always mean that you did anything wrong. However, if you need help or you get contacted from the Office of Student Conduct for any issues, you can always reach out to me, and I have contacts there as well and can find some information for you and help. Mention overall health and well-being for your mind and body. We have the Cruth Center. Cruth Services is a great resource on campus for mental health and well-being. They help with seminars dealing with stress, anxiety, the rigors of college. If you just need someone to talk to, they have individual counseling sessions. They also have group counseling sessions for certain cohorts or groups of students. They also work on academic enhancement skills, learning skills, academic coaching, and stress management. I can't say enough about the Cruth Center. They're such a wonderful resource on campus. The people there are great. We all know, we've been there. College is hard. It's difficult. It can be stressful, but you don't have to do it alone. And the Cruth Center and the staff there is wonderful. If you need to talk with someone about issues that you're facing that's impacting you academically or personally, please make an appointment with the Cruth Center, and they will provide you with resources or counseling that you need. A couple professional or social resources, your academic advising within your department. Remember to talk to your academic advisor about your needs and concerns as you work towards graduation. Career Services on campus is next to the Student Union, the mountain there. Looks like this building, the bookstore where Starbucks is, and next to the mountain layer, you can walk in at Career Services on the other side. And we have a liaison there with the international office that actually can help build your resume as an international student, give you some tips on how to interview if you're approaching graduation and you're looking for a job. And she also offers workshops with us about what you need to know as an international student when you're searching for a job. But reach out to them if you need some help. They also host a website called Handshake, which is a job search engine on campus. As an international student, you can work part-time on campus up to 20 hours a week while school is in session. We can help answer any questions about that. You don't need any special authorization. All you need is a Social Security letter and that card, and go through the payroll process. But if you'd like to earn a little bit extra money on campus during your time here, please go to Handshake, look for job opportunities. And if you have a job offer, let us know, and we can walk you through that process of getting that Social Security card. Also, don't forget about student engagement as well. This website lists all the different clubs and activities are on campus where you can connect to other people. Don't just look for things that you're already interested in. Step outside of your comfort zone and join maybe groups that that you might have an interest in. Things that you never thought that you might be interested in may end up being lifelong passions. Get out of your comfort zone a little bit and explore those different groups and activities, and consider going to their events and meeting new people. All the different campus groups are listed. There are hundreds of them out there. Take 5 minutes, look through their website and maybe consider joining a couple groups or going to a few meetings to broaden your interests. And also don't forget the WVU portal, the request portal and mix email, stay informed and timely responses. The WVU portal is the main webpage that will have announcements and information for you. Our request portal is how you make requests to us, and your mix email, you should be checking that every day. We also have a safety and wellness website at WVU. Please take a moment to go to safety.wvu.edu. Please sign up for the WVU alert system. These are text messages and emails that are sent when there are warnings across campus or community notice or some alert that you may need in case of an emergency. It's always a good idea to be informed. So sign up for the alert system if you can. We also have a university police department. They are nationally recognized as on campus. They're a great resource. They're friendly, they're kind, they're there to help. There's a phone number if you feel that you need to talk to a police officer or campus police for an issue. Please consider reaching out to them at that phone number, and they are very responsive and helpful. And we work with them closely. If you would like some help in reaching out, please let us know. We also have a diversity, equity, and inclusion office. If you feel that you may be facing discrimination, you feel that you're not being included, or you feel that there are ways that we can improve our diversity and inclusion across campus, please reach out to their office and speak to a representative there. And they work closely with us on issues and programs that help us improve the culture and climate on WVU campus as well. Also, be aware of scamming and phishing within the US. IT is here to help. If you receive an email and you're not sure if it's a valid email or it looks suspicious or someone's asking for personal information, don't open any links, don't respond. You can forward as an attachment that information to ITS, Defend Your Data, that website. They will review it for you and let you know if it's valid or not. So better safe than sorry. If you receive a suspicious email, that does happen within the US, believe it or not. People try to scam you and get you to click on things and hack your computer. It does happen. So please be alert that that is something that does occur, and don't open any suspicious attachments or respond to any emails asking for personal information unless you verify that it is indeed a valid department or person on campus that needs that information. Also, this has increased frequently over the past several years, but beware of calls and emails from individuals posing as government agencies, law enforcement. These agencies, such as USCIS, police officers, ICE immigration, they will never call or warn you of a problem and will never demand money to fix an issue. These individuals have gained access to pose as government officials. Sometimes a phone number will pop up and say, Morgantown Police or USCIS or ICE, and they work on fear. So they will do as much as they can to make you afraid that if you do not do what they ask, that something bad will happen to you. They will tell you, you can't tell anyone, don't contact someone, don't listen to that. We will advocate for you if you're unsure. You hang up the phone, you let us know what was said, we will verify that information. But government officials will not call you. They will either send you a letter, they will contact us to get a hold of you directly, but they will not just call you out of the blue and warn you of an issue that you need to solve. So please be aware that someone may be scamming you if you receive a call such as this. They usually occur at the beginnings of semesters and at the ends of semesters because students are new to the US and vulnerable, and also their time is ending in the US and they're thinking about departing and they don't want any issues. So please let us know if you receive one of these scam calls or emails. My last final message is really this: you're not alone. It's tough being here as an international student sometimes. It's also a lot of fun, but we're all good people and we're here to help. And the only way any of us can get through anything is together. So please reach out and let us know if you're having trouble, you need some help. We love our students. We work hard every day to make sure you can do great at WVU. We offer advising when something is coming up between you and your full-time studies. We advise on employment opportunities for you. We're in it for the long haul. If you want to graduate and stay in the US, we can give you some options. Let us know. If you have a sponsor, we can work with them to provide additional services for you. Our sponsor student office is here for you if you are sponsored. We offer programming and activities all year long. Please monitor your mixed email for those updates on programming that's going on. We coordinate with other campus offices, as you saw, and I'm happy to be a contact for you to coordinate with those offices. If you ever forget the main reason why you're in the U.S. rule, to study full time and the time that you're given, please let us know. We can work in some instances to advocate you and possibly correct the issue. But just remember, if we can help, we will. We will bend over backwards to help you, and it's my pleasure to do so. I really just want to welcome you home to WVU. I hope that you have a wonderful time here, and if there's anything that we can do to help, please reach out to us. So thank you so much. Have a great start to the rest of the semester, and I will turn it back over to Hank to round things out for the orientation.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Andy. That was a really, really excellent presentation. And one of the things that I want to reinforce through that is that there's so much good information there that you should be going back through that when you have questions throughout your time here at WVU, because it's a great reference and it's a great resource. It's also a lot of information. We know a lot of you have just got to the US, so you may have some trouble absorbing it all, and that's totally okay. So we really want you to go back through, find the parts where you have questions, and that resource is going to be available hopefully later today on YouTube for you to reference. So we do have some questions. If you do have any questions that you haven't typed out in the chat box, please go ahead and do so. So I'll be reading these out, and then our team can go ahead and help answer those. And I do also want to really quickly introduce some of the OGA staff members who we have here. So in addition to myself, Andy, and Dr. Bergnoli, we also have Cindy Teets and Tina Takix, who are the director and assistant director, respectively, of our sponsored student services. And then we also have Shelby Concepcion and Ty Baduna, who are our exchange program coordinators. So if you're an exchange student, I'm sure you've gotten a lot of messages and communication from Shelby and Ty. So they're also joining us here today. So all of us will collectively try and tackle your questions the best we can. So we'll go ahead and start. And I think, Andy, you're going to be able to help with this one. Fareed has a question: how can I change my major? And so what are the processes in doing that? Less so of the actual changing your major, because an academic advisor, you can work with them to do that. But what does an international student need to do to change their major?
Yeah, it's actually after you talk with your academic department and you want to change your major, you can place a request with us. There is actually a change major request. What we do is it's a few questions. You tell us what your former major was, what your new major is, and we actually just go into the WVU system. One of the systems is called DegreeWorks, and if it's changed there and it's changed within Banner, which is another WVU system, we can confirm that with the registrar. We go ahead into your CVIS record, we update your I-20 or DS 2019, and then you will get an email from us saying it's either ready for pickup or ready to be accessed, and you're on your way at that point. So as simple as that. If you want to change your major and you know what you want to go into, speak to your academic department, get that process rolling, get transferred over to that major, and then place that change major request with us so we can update your record.
Awesome. And again, yeah, they'll issue you the new documentation once all that's taken care of. The next question is, if my visa and or DS 2019 expire on May 5th of 2023, or really any date, how long do you have before you need to depart the United States?
Always a great question. I'm kicking myself because I usually cover that, but appreciate you asking. So if your program expires and let's say May 5th, if you are a J1 student, you have 30-day grace period. If you are a F1 student, you have a 60-day grace period after that date. Now, you can't request an extension after that date, but you can do a few things. You can explore, if you're a J1, academic training. If you're an F1 student, OPT or CPT. If you're finished with your degree, you can transfer to another university for a change of educational level. So within 60 days, if you want to go from a bachelor's to a master's, you can explore a transfer with us of your CVIS record. Or if you're going to continue on at WVU in another program, within those 60 or 30 days, we can process a change of educational level for you, which is just like getting a new I-20. We collect the same documents again, we update your record. But yes, you do have a grace period after your program end date, 30 days for J1 students and 60 days for F1 students.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that, Andy. The next question is, when will I be able to pick up my WVU ID? And this is one that I can actually answer, so I'm really happy about that. So the first step is, if you haven't already done so, you need to submit a photo for your WVU ID. And if you go to idphoto.wvu.edu, then you'll be able to submit that photo, and they'll also have the instructions step-by-step on exactly what you need to do that. They also will give you the regulations on what your photo has to, look like. I mean, it can't be like a group selfie with you and your friends. It can't be, with a really colorful, bold background. There are some sort of rules that we have to follow with that. So once that's all said and done, if you're living in a residence hall, usually your ID card will be available at the residence hall for you to pick up there. If you aren't living in a WVU residence hall, you can go to the ITS Service Center, which is in the Mountain Lair, which is our student union right on the downtown campus. It's open from 8:30 to 4:30 Monday through Friday, and they'll be able to get you your ID card there. So yeah, and Tina went ahead and put that website, thank you, Tina, into the chat box. So if anyone has any questions or you haven't already done this, I hope you would have gotten some communication about it beforehand to take care of that. So that should be there. Can I have a summer internship as an exchange student? Andy, that's for you.
It all depends. If your program is ending and you are thinking about continuing on and having academic training as a J1 student, maybe. So it will depend on your individual situation. What I would do is you're going to need to have the job offer and the internship already. Once that's secured, I would do that prior to your program end date before the summer starts, and reach out to us right away. We're going to need to get a hold of our PDSO who works with academic training, and he will review your request for the internship to see what is possible, what's not possible, and work with you on that. So first step is securing that internship, letting us know what the possibilities are, when start dates are, and then reaching out to us once that takes place. There is information on our website about academic training that you might want to review to see what the restrictions are. But it is possible, but it all depends in individual circumstance. So just stay in contact with us as you explore opportunities.
And Hank, I want to add one quick thing to that. Throughout your time at WVU, particularly when it comes to things like internships or job searches, a lot of the people that will be doing presentations and talking about that outside of our office, the timelines that they give are for domestic students. So as an international student, you want to make sure that if they say, oh, well, this process normally takes 3 months, I would add, about 4 to 6 weeks to that timeline for you to begin, the search process or the paperwork process, because as Andy said, there are extra steps that you will need to take as an international student. And sometimes the person that's giving the presentation just isn't thinking about those extra steps.
That's a really great point, Amber. And that sort of reinforces across everything is, the unfortunate reality is, as an international student, there's a lot of benefits and a lot of positives, but there's a lot of procedure that's involved with many of the things you'll need to do. So you really just have to work as far in advance as possible with everything you're doing. Just try and think ahead. And we know it's not always possible, and we'll do everything we can if the situation arises, but a lot of times it's outside of our control. So it's a very interconnected process, and we can't always make things happen in an instant. Yeah, so we have one more question here. And again, if you have any other questions, please get them in the chat box. Can I work as a student with a J1 visa?
Yes, you can on campus. So kind of building off what Dr. Brugnoli said, this was one as a J1 student. There's just one extra step with this one. So it may, if you're exploring job opportunities, be sure to find an on-campus job. It has to be 20 hours, no more than that. So you're restricted from working more than 20 hours. Handshake, the job search engine at WVU is a good place to make sure that you're finding on-campus employment. And then once your job is secured, you would go through the social security process with us. And our website has a student employment page that will outline the step-by-step methods. Once you go through our process and getting the Social Security letter, we just need one additional document as a J1 student. That takes a couple extra days to get from an ARO. Yeah, it's possible. I don't mean to put a lot of jargon in there, but if you're hoping like, hey, I got a job, I want to start tomorrow, that may not be possible. It'd probably take about a week, 2 weeks max from when you place the request with us to start the job to when you can start. So as you're starting employment, just make sure you let the employer know that you have additional processing that you'll need to do through our office before you can begin. But it is possible. We have J1 students work all the time, and we're happy to help you through that. Send an email to us and we'll give you the steps as well.
Yeah, the only thing I would want to add to that is maybe double check with your program sponsor. Like as a J1 student, if your program back home or your program, if you're sponsored through a third party as part of your J1 program, they may have limitations on whether or not you're allowed to work. So just be sure and check on that as well. Some of our programs do, some of them don't, but that's really an individual and specific thing per student. Yeah, so those are all the questions that we have in the chat box right now. So again, if you have any other questions, and I'm sure as you go about the rest of your day and the rest of the weekend, you'll think of some things. And so be sure and you can ask any of those over to isss-students@mail.wvu.edu, and they'll be able to answer a lot of those questions. So we did get another one. What about my Aetna health insurance? Do I need to make any other action? So for your health insurance, you should be able to access your Aetna health insurance card as long as you are enrolled in the plan. And you can do that by visiting one second, WVU. Let me get you the exact website and put it in here. So we put it in the chat box. And so in the student insurance website, there's going to be information there where you can look at your coverage, you can look at all the rates and everything, as well as you should be able to access your insurance card through that. There's going to be a link there and you can print that out, and it's good to have on your person. One of the things as I've become an adult, I've become much better about keeping my insurance card on me. But you never know when you're going to need it. So, but from that website, you can go down and there will be a part to print your insurance card. Or you can call them and they will mail you one, but it's just as easy to fill out the online form and print it. All right. So again, if you have any other questions, be sure and shoot us an email at isss-students@mail.wvu.edu. So we'll be able to help take care of any of those, anything that comes up over the next few days. Again, you'll have questions as your time goes on. Don't hesitate to reach out to us. We have a pretty friendly, great group of people who are eager to help. So let us do that for you. Thank you all so much for taking the time to join in. If you're viewing this afterwards, thank you for taking the time to watch. We really appreciate it, and we're here to help.